Hi.
Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Why. Today we're going to talk to you about various numbers of topics, but we're still bring it into that same perspective of chess and not checkers, about the deception that's being played on the American people. I'm just so tired of this wool that's been pulled over everybody's eyes, and I'm really concerned of where we're going to go as a country, especially where the church is going to go in America. So join us Behind the Why. Before you do that, before we get started, should I say, go ahead and take a moment and hit that bell, like and subscribe to the channel. What we'd like you to do is, above all, after you listen to us, of course, share this so we can get as many people involved in this conversation as possible. Because the more people we get talking, well, the better we are. We just destroy that old enemy called ignorance. So let's talk about a couple of things. One of the things I want to talk to you about is, President Biden set up Vice President Kamala as the czar for the border.
That's what I thought, the border.
Yeah, and it was so crazy because, before they were in office, the border was like this great tragedy. The wall was deplorable. It was everything. It was medieval. It was horrible, and people were being killed.
It was racist, even.
Yeah, it was racist. And now, Kamala, I got this little map I'm going to share with everybody later on. Kamala's been everywhere but the border. She even wants to fly down to Central America, but she can't go to Texas because she's afraid of COVID. I mean, how long are we going to keep listening to these lies, America? How long are we going to keep listening to these lies?
It's like Bernie Mac.
It just doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the approval of the wall has sunk to an all-time low. I think it was only like 40%, 46% of the Americans think that it is absolutely atrocious now. And we're looking at this continuous slide. And I keep wondering about this vast number of Americans who thought Joe Biden would be in this administration would be such a great idea. Where are they? Are you happy with the condition of America now? Are you happy with the increase and the amount of violence where people being shot and riots? You said it was Trump's fault before. Trump's not there. And so are you happy with this? I don't hear anybody talking about this.
Right.
And the thing that concerns me is what the Bible talks about is this continuing lack of natural affection. That's the thing that I keep hearing come back. Because at the end of all these things that are going on, the real loss to this is equated in people. It's people who are being lost by this. I can't get far from this, especially being a black man in America. When you think about the fact again that about 3.5% of the population of the nation's population
account for what?
33
50%?
to 36% of all the abortions done in this country. That means black women, you're killing so many of your babies that we are failing to grow as a people in this country. And yet you're patting yourselves on the back and taking that slap down from Big Daddy government like you're doing something wonderful. This would be like Noah putting a hole in the bottom of the ark.
Look what I did.
It's
yeah,
stupid.
Like, no.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And yet we're still applauding ourselves and we're clapping ourselves on the back. And I get so tired of the black church in particular talking about, well, this is a church problem, but then they go out and vote for people who put this kind of stuff in action. It makes no sense. I'm looking at this thing here now in Alabama. I just saw a report on my home state, Alabama. After the COVID shot's been going through and people getting shot, over 200 people have been diagnosed with COVID after they got vaccinated against it. Now, what I like to know, if anybody have this stat, bring me up, please. How many people got polio after they got the vaccination? I'm just curious, because I got the polio vaccination. I got a little bump on my shoulder to prove it. I didn't get polio after that, and I have to wear no mask or nothing because I got vaccinated.
But I mean, even you talk to different, or not talk directly, but listen to different talks that like virologists have put on, and many of them have said it doesn't really categorize as a true vaccine.
No.
So it's not a vaccine per se. This is
if you get a vaccine, why are you still wearing a mask?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense.
And President Biden today, I just, guys, I didn't want him to be our president. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought that President Trump would have been a much better man for the job. I know you guys still flash when you hear the name Trump, so I'm not trying to get you on edge. But I'm just saying, I look at this man come out and makes his speech today in the garden there at the White House, and he's coming out to make his speech about if you've been vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. And he walks out wearing a mask. I'm like, if you don't need a mask, then why are you wearing a mask? It's like they're so confused.
And also, just a little bit ago, Dr. Fauci said you should wear like double masks and everything. Like, it
that
doesn't make any
sense. It's like the Twilight Zone.
It really doesn't make any sense.
Don't turn your head because the truth changes. You know, it's just
scary.
like, it's crazy. Ooh. You know, and I'm starting to think again here, Alabama, my home state again, they just signed a bill, Governor Ivey signed a bill that transgender athletes cannot compete in high school sports. Now I'm thinking, you know, and I'm proud of my home state doing that. I think it's a great thing. But my point again is that wow, these people voted for Biden and Harris when they said they would do this. They said they were going to make it legal for children to have gene therapy as young as 8, 9 years old, even without their parents' permission. They said they would do it, and now they've done it, and everybody's like, well, we want to stop that. This duality of mind is boggling. It reminds me of a passage in James where the Bible says that let a man ask for wisdom if he lacks it, but let him not be doubting in his mind when he asks it. That man's like someone's tossed to and fro in the sea. He's double-minded. Like, he's not going to get anything. One, he can't get anything because he don't know what he wants. He's saying on one hand, I want President Biden to get in here and make transgender kids the law. You know, kids 8, 9 years old can get transgender operation without their parents' permission. They can do whatever they want. And then they come in and they're like, well, we want to vote that law down. It's like, what do you want? You're crazy.
I'm going to do a little diagnosis here
Here we go.
I was talking to someone earlier today, and we're talking about issues at the church, right? And how you have a lot of young people who maybe grew up in a Christian home, go to college, and then they start this deconstruction of their faith, and inevitably they end up walking away from the Lord, the church, atheist, whatever. And it's like, why is that happening? And what it comes down to is so many people, they know things about the Bible. They know things about Christianity. They don't really believe it.
And they don't know God.
And if you talk to people, they don't really have an answer for why they believe something.
No.
And so I think so many of this like to and fro being tossed comes from having head knowledge about something, but not having a true conviction from real lived experience.
Yeah, because they don't know. And because they don't know, if it sounds good today, they jump on that. That is what Colossians chapter 2 talks about this, about being drawn by every wind of doctrine and philosophy of man.
Right.
It sounds good when you get in your tie on and you have this speech and you use this theatric voice. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I have studied all my life and I have determined that ants are people. You know, and
I believe you.
Ants are people. Ants are people. You know, and it's like, yes, write a book about it. We'll go on Oprah and talk about it. You know, and now all of a sudden we just jump in line behind all this stupid stuff, and we never go back. And it doesn't really bother me as much when people who are non-Christians say it, because they're being governed by their flesh and their carnal mind. What really throws me for a loop is when I have people who are professed to be Christians, especially people who are Christian leaders, who begin to spout this stupidity like CRT, that critical race theory, and they're preaching this thing as if it was the gospel law.
Right.
And I have people tell me all the time, you need to read this guy, read that guy. And I said, no, I read Jesus. You know, if I want to find out how to treat people, I read Jesus. I don't need to read Song and June, I'm sorry, what is it? I used to say, I'm slandering my boy's name now. Or any of these other more contemporary philosophers, because when it comes down to how to treat the human person, the human animal, if I may go there, the Bible tells me how to do that. It don't. There's nowhere in the Bible that tells me to judge a man based on the color of his skin. It doesn't tell me to judge him based on his zip code. In the Bible tells me to judge man based on the actions that he lives his life by.
Not even by his bank account.
Not by what he said.
Or what he said.
In fact, it tells you the exact opposite in James, right? It says you treat the one with most money, you give him this preferential seat, and you treat him all high, man. And then he says what? He said, those are the very same people who mistreat you. Newsflash, it's true. Those are the people who mistreat you. And if you don't believe me, Bill Gates is one pushing this vaccine, a non-scientist, as a matter of fact. But that's a whole different story. I ain't trying to get on that. I ain't trying to get on that. But there's just so many things that we can talk about. One of the things I will have to say, that here in my home state now of Idaho, that the Senate, the legislature here has just pushed a bill through to push down this indoctrination that's been going on in our public schools. It's on the governor's desk right now. I'm just hoping the governor Little has the guts to sign it, because he's going to get some flack back from the liberals, because they want this indoctrination. They don't want to have equal thought. No, I'll give you an example. It's the same thing as when evolution went through the schools. You know, they say evolution is a theory.
Right.
Well, to be a theory, it has to be what? Testable, right? So you would think evolution is a theory. Well, the predominant theory before that has been creation. So what happens though? In the school, you're not allowed to teach creationism. You're not allowed to teach creationism. You can only teach evolution.
Right.
Why? Because it's indoctrination.
Mm-hmm.
It's you think this way, and if you don't think this way, you get punished.
Right. That's like when it comes down to it, it's like it's okay to teach about CRT, but teach it as a theory, teach it as one way of looking at things. But it's just literally taken over everything.
Everything.
Where it becomes the only way to look at everything in our world.
And if you don't do it that way,
and then you're punished.
You're gonna get slammed down.
And so it's a good thing, I think, to say, yeah, you can teach it, but you can't teach it as a fact. You can't teach it as the way.
Right. And you got this whole thing like with the Michael Brown case now. I guess there's been a big a lawsuit that came out of that after, and it's been a few years since I was back during President Obama's tenure, but that has finally made its way through the courts, and that's what we saw the rise to this the Black Lives Matter. That's where they got their real kudo from, you know, and now we see. I'm trying. What's this lady? Her name is I can't. What's her name? I can't read it. That one
Patrice Cullors.
Cullors, that's her name. You know, she just got busted. You know, she had made this statement that COVID-19 was bad, but what's really bad is capitalism. Capitalism is so evil. America's evil. Evil, you know, and yet she had just bought 3 houses. Each one of them valued over $1 million.
You know what let her do that?
Black folk. And all these crazy industries send her all this money and telling like Black Lives Matter. And at all the time we've been telling you guys, these people are not for black people.
No.
They took that money and they got rich off of it, and you still sending money and telling I believe in the Black Lives Matter.
Here's the deal about these people like her. People like her benefit from capitalism.
Oh gosh, yes.
But then the people
they encourage it.
They curse it.
They curse it.
They benefit and then they want to destroy it so that you can't benefit from capitalism.
It's like all these liberals who talk about how evil America is, but being in America with the systems that America has provided for them allowed them to be the millionaires that they are today. You know what I'm saying? And allowed them to be there's a reason that Yao Ming was raised in China. Mm-hmm. He still considers himself a proud Chinaman, but he stays in America.
You know why?
Just saying. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we look at this kind of stuff. I'm just like, people are so if we would just stop and think about what's happening. That's why we always say to get behind the why. Mm-hmm. This girl here is buying all these houses, and people are still defending them. Facebook has been filtering, screening, blocking people from seeing these stories about what she's doing. She's spending money like it's flowing out like, make it rain, make it rain, make it rain. Here she is. She bought a house down there near Tiger Woods. You know, ain't no cheap neighborhood. And yet she still can't go into the neighborhoods where black folk are getting shot 4-5 times a day. You know, supposed to be about Black Lives Matter, but you don't see her up there in Chicago. You don't see her in Detroit. And we black folk keep supporting the stupidity. Say they got a catchphrase. It's the same thing as, you know, what does it say? Is it Coke does? Not Coke does the body good. Which one is it?
I don't know.
It used to be back in the 70s. Coke.
How would I know that? 70s?
It's the real thing. That was the catchphrase of Coke is the real thing. You know, Burger King was, you can have it your way. And all this is Black Lives Matter is just a catchphrase. That's all it is. It's marketing for you to buy their product, buy their t-shirts and everything else.
Capitalism.
Send their money. Yeah, capitalism. The same thing that she's cussing and debunking. She's raking in the money like what's his name? Scrooge. Well, Scrooge McDuck. She's like diving in the money. Woo-hoo! Swimming on your money while you sit here being crazy. Send that money into these people. I'm trying to tell you guys, it's time to wake up America. And especially black America, because we're being used, y'all. We're being used. We're the coal that they're burning in their furnace, and they are turning America into something strange and weird. And one day we're going to wake up and we're going to find ourselves not necessarily in the shackles like Kunta Kinte, but the shackles of the mind, where we will be bound and defeated. The very same battle that Frederick Douglass fought to free us from, the very same battle that Booker T. Washington fought to free us from. We are running back into. We're running into it. We're not sliding. We're running into it. Sojourner Truth. We're running into those battles. These battles have been fought.
Yep.
Blood has been shed. Yep. We walked out of the plantation. We walked out of the prison house, and now we going, you know what? Man, when I was in prison, they fed me 3 times a day.
Hey, you sound like
they fed me 3 times a day when I was in prison. I had my clothes washed. They brought laundry to my house. I just had to turn it in the bag, and they brought me a clean jumpsuit when I was in the prison. You know, had barber there and everything, had the best medical and everything when I was in prison. That's what you sound like. You got prison mentality, just like the Israelites in the desert. Oh, leeks and onion was so much better in Egypt. They forget they was being whipped and worked to death. And you want to go back to that. Don't
No,
even
I
get me
don't.
started on LeBron James trying to act like he was reading Malcolm. If he had read Malcolm X, he wouldn't be talking as stupid as he is. What did Malcolm X say? The greatest enemy to the black man in America is the white liberal. Come on, LeBron, get with it. We got to stop this stupidity, y'all.
Yeah, the time
Because
is going off.
because I'm telling you right now, time is running out. And if we don't get our act together, it's going to be act over, curtain closed, show shut down. It's going to be over. You better get on it. Take this minute. Get behind the why, because I love you. God loves you. And he gave us a book to tell us how to get out of this mess. It's called the Bible.
Yep.
Get on it and get behind the why. Peace, love, and we're out. Talking to you later next time.
Peace.
Bye.